Putting this airplane together, decided to use all stainless steel hardware wherever I could. And I decided to use Torx drive screws. Of course, originally I would have used slotted screws, but everybody converted over to Phillips head screws over the years. And I've had Phillips grid screws in there and I've used them. The problem is that you slip on the screw a little bit and it ruins the screw head, and then it's hard to get out or get in tight. And then you've got the head of the screwdriver, and if the screwdriver starts getting worn a little bit, then they start slipping a little better. This is a snap-on #1 Phillips drive, and it has little serrations on the edge, and it's one of the best ones I've found to use for these small screws. But even they get worn out and then they start slipping and stuff. Now the Torx screws have multiple lobes on them and they get a positive engagement in them, can drive them tighter and they don't wear out as fast. I've used this. This is again a snap-on. This is a T15. I've used this to drive all the screws in this airplane so far, the #6s anyway. And I've driven a lot of screws in there. I put them in, taken them out, put them in, taken them out, working on the interior of that airframe and stuff there with the baggage compartment and all of that. The screws that I've chose to use on that are stainless steel machine screws, truss head, and the truss head has a nice wide broad head on it and it's a low dome on it, so it has a lot of bearing surface underneath the head to hold sheet metal down and stuff, so it has a lot better holding power, and that's the Torx head screw. Now unfortunately the only ones I can get go up to 1/2 inch in length, and when I did the windshield there, the top of the windshield, 1/2 inch was not long enough, and I couldn't find any truss head Torx drive stainless steel screws. I thought I ordered some. I thought I found some 1 inch one, 3/4 inch ones, and when I got them it turned out they were zinc plated and they were Phillips head. I put that all together with those Phillips head screws. I didn't really like that. I didn't really want to leave it at that. So I got to looking, and Albany County Fasteners, New York, had these stainless steel screws, and they have Torx head, Torx drive, but they're pan head screws. They have truss heads up to 1/2 inch, but over 1/2 inch they didn't have any. So you can see the difference in the size of the head. This pan head one doesn't have near the bearing surface that the truss head does. But I was able to get them into longer lengths in the #6s, and I needed the 5/8 for those windshield top system up there on where the windshield and the skylight meet on that top. So I just got those. I took out the zinc plated screws that I had in there and put some of these pan head screws in there. I've got some Teflon washers underneath them to help with the bearing surface and kind of seal those holes up, but that's the best I could do on that. Probably don't have to worry about those coming out of there. I have had the ones on the other airframe out a couple of times, but I think mostly it was just to plug the holes, to put silicone in the holes to keep the thing from leaking. Anyway, it really doesn't matter when that thing goes together. It should be permanent or nearly permanent. That windshield is not something that gets taken in and out regularly for maintenance like some of the other pieces and stuff do. So maybe Torx head star drive screws are a little bit overkill on that, but they sure make it a lot easier getting the screws in and out of there than trying to use a wore out Phillips head and burn up the Phillips drive in the screws.